So Cain Velasquez is retired from MMA, one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, and in the blink of an eye, he's gone. Let's do two things with this video, guys. First, let's appreciate the fact that Cain Velasquez is an athlete and a cardio machine, the likes we've never seen before at heavyweight, and we probably won't ever see again. The intensity in his fights, now granted, he was limited by that same intensity in the training room, in my opinion, but the intensity in his fights was unmatched. He took out Brock Lesnar at the height of Brock Lesnar's career, and when a guy like him looked unstoppable, and Cain walked in and not only stopped him, but made it look damn easy. Cain Velasquez is one of the legends of this sport, and the tales of him in the practice room and how legendary his cardio is and all that stuff combined is both the gift and the curse that led to this retirement of Cain Velasquez, because his body simply could not hold up at this division any longer. I think it's great for Cain. I think he's going to make a ton of money. Have you seen him wrestle, guys? Have you guys seen him in the WWE? This dude is doing hurricane ranas. He's jumping off the top rope. He's doing all types of luchador maneuvering. He's flipping over guys' backs. This guy is made for the WWE. He is a high-level athlete. We're talking about a state champion wrestler. We're talking about a national title contender wrestler at Arizona State. This guy is the top class of athlete. So him transitioning and doing really well in the WWE is something I can almost guarantee is going to happen. And he has he's got a big menacing look. He obviously has the legit factor behind him, the same a la Ronda Rousey. You know, she has the legit fighting background, which makes her more of a badass in the WWE. It's going to happen for Cain too, but let's think about what this says for other fighters. If you are able to diversify, because the UFC just let Cain walk. Cain was obviously not in the prime of his career anymore, and we've seen guys do it. We've seen Brendan Schaub go off and be an amazing comedian. Obviously, Brock himself was from the WWE, came and took over the MMA world and went back and got his money in WWE. But for other fighters, it shows you that there is another form of things to do outside of fighting. Not to say that that's something you should look for as a fighter, because if you're a fighter and you've got one leg out the door, the old saying is you're basically out. You got one leg out and you got one eye turned towards something else, you're done, because there's other guys that are younger, hungrier, haven't made it yet, and are looking to come and rip your head off. And if you're not fully focused on them, they're going to do just that. So for Cain Velasquez and for other fighters, looking for something else outside of fighting, there is something. There is something. If you're talented enough, if you have that desire, you can go and do that. But I think the biggest thing to be taken away from this is, especially from Cain Velasquez, I think he knew at the level he's been at, which was the top of the world, and where he's at now were two different spots. And if you're able to recognize that you either don't have it or you don't want to have it and don't want to give it anymore, and you have another way to do something that you love, go and do it. Because if you're not fully committed to going into a cage and fighting another human, it's not going to work out well for you. That's my biggest takeaway from that. Obviously, in the fact that I can't wait to watch Cain Velasquez on WWE Raw or SmackDown or whatever pay-per-view he's on. You best believe I'm hitting the buy button when Cain Velasquez comes on the screen. One, because I want to support the guy. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And two, he's pretty damn good.